morning, students. So today we are going to continue with the last class. In the last class we discussed that the Gauss law applications and objective pattern and what kind of questions concepts that will be covered. So the concepts which will ask in objectives we discussed in the last class. The same will be continue in this class also. In the last class we discussed that if a thin charged wire, if it is placed inside the cube, what is the total flux through that cube we discussed. The same way, if you take a sphere, hollow sphere whose radius is r, whose radius is capital R, in this sphere if you place a thin conducting wire whose linear charge density is lambda. So we are arranging, and that conductor is passing exactly through the center of the sphere. That is the point you have to understand. So the conductor is exactly passing through the center of this sphere, and whose linear charge density is lambda. If these linear charge density is lambda, then what is the total flux will produces, total flux emanates from this spherical surface. So flux through closed surface is nothing but, from the Gauss law we discussed, flux through a closed surface is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by that closed surface. Net charge enclosed by the closed surface means here we are not taking a point charge. So point charge means directly you can write flux phi is equals to 1 by epsilon naught times the q net. The net charge you can write directly if it is a point charge. So here it is a continuously charge distributed body. In the case of continuously charge distributed body, what we discussed, if a charge, if you want to know it, if it is based on its shape, if it is a linear, if it is a aerial body means like a plane surface, the plate. If it is a charge is distributed over the surface means surface charge density, over the length means linear charge density, or completely throughout the body means volume charge density. Like that, we have 3 different kinds of charge densities. So here we have linearly charged conductor. So how much of charge enclosed by this sphere if you want it, we need to be multiply the linear charge density into the length of the conductor enclosed by this sphere. The length of the conductor enclosed by this sphere. So what is the length of this conductor enclosed by this sphere means that is nothing but its diameter only. That's why here diameter is 2r. So net charge enclosed by the sphere is nothing but linear charge density lambda into, so the length of the rod, that is 2r. Therefore flux through this one is flux phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the lambda into 2r. So like this you can able to find the flux through this closed sphere when a linearly charged conductor is exactly passing through center. If the case is not like this, means here we discussed that the conductor is passing through the center, but if it is not, so if it is above the center or below the center, like that is there, what is the total flux through this closed surface? That we need to be discussing. Let us take another example here. This is the example, the conductor is passing through exactly through the center of the sphere. Then we have the flux through the sphere is 1 by epsilon naught times the lambda into 2r, that is the net charge enclosed by this one. So if the case is like this, if the conductor is not passing through exactly through the center, here it is like this is there. This is the center of the sphere. The conductor is passing through. This is the radius r. So at a distance r by 2, from the center. If the conductor is passing like this, means the conductor is placed at a distance r by 2 from the center. This is what linear charged thin conductor whose linear charge density is lambda. Now in this case, what is the flux through it? So flux through it, in the sense the same procedure will follow. What is that? 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by it. So net charge, how can we find in the case of thin conductor? Only one thing you need to be remember, that is linear charge density into length of the conductor present inside it. The length you can find it. The length if you find, then if you multiply with linear charge density, you get the how much of charge enclosed by it. So let us see, how can you find the length? In the sense, a simple thing, you know, this is radius r, in the sense, this will be also be radius r, this will also be radius r. Okay. Then these are right angle triangles, you can understand that. These are right angle triangles. Then it is a hypotenuse, and it is like a opposite side. Then it is nothing but it is the adjacent side, like it is the opposite side if you taken, and this side you can able to find it out by root over. This can be found by taking under root of r square minus r square by 4. That's it. Then how much you will get this side, this particular length will be, so 4r square minus r square, that is 3r square by 4. Then it will be 3r square by 4 means it is root 3r by 2. So this particular part is root 3r by 2 means this is also exactly the same, because it is a bisector. So this is the other half is also be root 3r by 2. Then totally how much length enclosed by the sphere is? The length enclosed by the sphere is by the sphere, that is L equal to root 3r by 2 plus root 3r by 2, that is root 3r by 2 times, that is root 3r. So this is the length of the conductor enclosed by the sphere. Then it is simple, quite simple. Now what is the expression for flux? Then flux through the body and the closed surface is phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. How can we write the net charge? Already we know the length of the conductor. So net charge in the sense linear charge density into length of the conductor enclosed by the sphere. So we can write that 1 by epsilon naught into linear charge density into length of the conductor is root 3r, that is we will be multiply. So we get the result is the flux through the sphere is root 3r lambda by epsilon naught. So this is the thing you need to be understand. So whether it is center means we discussed, as well as when it is above, just only one point you need to be understand here is just we need to be find how much of charge enclosed by that closed surface. Okay, so that is only the thing we need to be understand. Let us suppose we have one more situation like this. If a closed sphere is there, and whose, let us take like this. If a charged sheet, here linear conductor is taken now. So instead of linear conductor, if a charged sheet is placed at a distance y, we don't know exactly at r by 2 or r by 3, we don't know. At a distance x or y distance from the center, if a sheet is placed, means uniformly charged conducting sheet is placed, what is the flux through that closed sphere? That is, we need to be discussing it. So the next example is, if a charged conducting a non-conducting sheet Here it is there. Charged sheet is placed inside the sphere, means hollow sphere. Then flux through the sphere. Flux through the sphere. So I have a sheet like this. We have a sheet we are taking like this, a charged sheet. So this is a charged sheet and I have a hollow sphere. And I have an hollow sphere. This sheet I am placing inside this. And whose radius of the sphere is R. Whose radius of the sphere is R. And where I am locating this charged sheet is, I am locating a distance x from the center. So understand the thing is clearly. So a charged sheet is there whose surface charge density is surface charge density. It is not a linear conductor, clearly listen here. So we have a charged sheet, means it is the charge is distributed over the surface. That's why what we are going to take, surface charge density is not linear conductor. Okay. So surface charge density sigma. That case is linear conductor, but it is not linear conductor, it is a sheet. Now that sheet, if I place it at a distance x from the center of the sphere like this, the sheet is placed like this. So this is the charged sheet. Now what is the flux through it? The question is, what is the flux through it? Say linear charge enclosed by the sphere, we need to be calculated. In this case, flux means what? 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by it. How we can find the net charge? If it is a linearly charged conductor, means net charge is length into linear charge density. Similarly, if it is surface charge density, means the surface charge density into area of the sheet enclosed by this sphere. So that is we need to understand. So here the difference is, so to find the net charge, we need to multiply surface charge density into area of the plate enclosed by this sphere. Area of the plate in the sense, it is a spherical shape, no? A circular shape of sheet is enclosed by this sphere. A circular shape of plate is enclosed by the sphere means, let us suppose if this is a sheet is there. So if you have like this, it will be a particularly this much of curved part is present like this. Then it is enclosed by the sphere. Then how much of part of the sheet is enclosed by it? Which kind of part is enclosed by the sphere? Circular part of sheet is enclosed by the sphere. Circular part means how much of radius is that sheet is having inside, means that is how can you find here is, here let us know, we know this is the radius from center to the surface and the location of this charged sheet is x. Then what about this one? This will be root over r square minus x square, because the radius is not now hypotenuse and this is the adjacent side, like this is nothing but opposite side root over r square minus x square. In the same way, if you take in this part, this is also be root over r square minus x square. So this r square minus x square is nothing but the radius of the sheet present inside the sphere. So radius of sheet inside the sphere. Then what we can write, radius is there, then how much of charge is present inside means that is surface charge density into what? Area of the sheet. So surface charge density sigma into, therefore the charge enclosed by the sphere, the charge enclosed by the sphere is Q is equals to sigma into, so area of the sheet present inside the sphere. So if you take that, what is the radius? Radius is nothing but under root of r square minus x square. Therefore, I am writing sigma into pi small r square, because where r is the radius of the sheet present inside the sphere. Then r is nothing but root over r square, capital R square minus x square. That is, if you write sigma into pi r square minus x square. So this is what charge enclosed. Then if charge enclosed, if you find, it is enough to determine the flux through this one. So then flux through the, therefore flux through the closed surface is, flux through the closed surface is flux phi equal to what? 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed. The net charge enclosed is, we determined already, that is sigma pi into r square minus x square. So 1 by epsilon naught times the sigma into pi r square minus x square. So this is the thing, when a charged conducting sheet is placed inside the sphere, the total flux. So these examples we are discussing to understand the thing is, when it is a point charge is there inside the closed surface, so just to simply the flux through the closed surface is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge you are writing. Whether it is a one charge means one charge, otherwise algebraic sum of the charges, if more number of charges are present inside it. If it is not like that, if it is a continuously charged distributed bodies are present inside the closed surface, so net charge means, if it is a linear conductor is there, we need to be find the net charge by multiplying the linear charge density and what the length of the conductor present in that closed surface. If it is a sheet like that, surface charge density, that kind of bodies means plain sheets like that is there. Just what we are going to do, the surface charge density into what we are multiplied the area of the plate present inside it. So this is the thing you need to be understand. Next, so point charges, surface charge densities, charge continuously charge distributed bodies were there. It is quite simple. Here one more example I am going to tell you that, suppose a ring is there. These are all the JEE mains, JEE and NEET. Previous years they asked the question like this. So one charged ring is there whose radius is r. That charged ring is passing through a sphere of radius smaller than it. That is the radius r by 2. That is, we can take it. Then what is the maximum flux passes through the what sphere they are asking. So that is we will be discussing. So let us take this another example, because the more number of examples make you comfort in the concept. So because you need to understand the things how we are applying the Gauss law and how we are determining it. So by practice, by practicing more number of examples only, you can able to understand the things well. Let us see another example there. Here I have, this is a ring I have, charged ring, and the linear charge density of this ring is, the linear charge density of this ring is lambda, because the ring means it is a linearly charged body, so lambda. So let us take this ring having radius is r. Okay. and it is a charged one. Let us we take like this. Okay. So and the radius, let us suppose whose radius is be taken as r. This is the ring. Now I have here a sphere. This is a sphere, hollow sphere, let us suppose. But whose radius is smaller than it. So how much radius it is having in the sense whose radius is r by 2. So it is r. It is r by 2. So it is what? Hollow, uncharged sphere. This is uncharged. Just it is an uncharged sphere only. Now it is moving towards this sphere. Which one? This charged ring is moving towards the sphere. The charged ring is moving towards the sphere. When? Because when it is moving, what? This charged ring is entering inside the sphere. When if it is not enclosing any charge, then flux through it is 0. But once slowly this ring is passing inside the sphere, what will happen? The sphere encloses some charge. If the sphere encloses some charge, then definitely you can expect some flux will be produced. Some flux will be emanates from this sphere. So when you can understand that maximum flux will be produced. What is the maximum flux produced by this sphere? They are asking. Maximum flux, when it is possible, you may understand that flux is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught as the net charge. So flux is maximum when it is enclosing. Maximum charge or not? Here flux is maximum when maximum charge is present inside. Maximum charge when it is possible when large length of the ring is present inside it. Because how much large length of the body is present inside, that much of large charge it will be present inside the body. Because it is continuously, means throughout the ring the charge is uniformly distributed. So how much length is there? That much more charge present inside the sphere, then that much more amount of flux will be produced. So if they ask what is the maximum flux? What is the maximum flux produced? So maximum flux when it is possible, you have the idea that maximum flux is possible when it is encloses maximum charge. So maximum charge is possible when maximum length of the ring is present inside it. So length means here chord, because the circle shape, no? So we can say chord, how much of maximum chord is present inside it. So that is the concept. So let us see. Here, when it is passing, I am showing the diagrammatically. So let us see the point here. This is the sphere we have. Sphere. And inside it, the ring is present. This is the ring. So this is the charged ring. Now it is entered. This much it is entered. Okay. So this much it is entered inside it in the sense. Now it is the center. So it is the center. So from center to this is radius, and this is the radius. Okay. Now maximum is possible if it is a radius in the sense. So we can write that here it is theta, here it is theta, maximum chord. So maximum length of the chord we need to be determining. So totally it will be what? 2 theta. And this is the chord is this is the arc length. So this arc length we can write as a angle is equals to angle what is equals to arc length by radius. So arc length, how much of arc length? Maximum arc length is arc length is nothing but angle. Angle is 2 theta into radius. Radius is r we can write. That is 2 theta into r. Then we need to be determined that we have to be determined that one thing. So arc length is nothing but length of the chord. Length of the chord into linear charge density means how much of charge enclosed we can find it out. So how much of charge it is there present we can write as a charge enclosed Q is equals to linear charge density into this length of the ring. So this length is nothing but 2 theta into r. That is 2 theta into r. Okay. Then what is the flux through it means? What you will write flux through it in the sense? Flux of phi is equals to we can write as 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. Net charge is nothing but lambda into what? Length, that is 2 theta into r. Understand here? So lambda into 2 theta into r. And maximum, if you want ask, maximum when it is possible means if this angle is maximum and this angle is maximum is possible when we can write it as a sine value is maximum. So we can take it, that is we can discuss it. So what is the flux through it is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the lambda into 2 theta r, where when the charged ring is passing through the sphere. This is the case we need to be understand. Well, so next we can go for the another thing that, and here the maximum flux. So we discussed that the flux through it, if it is passing at any instant, we discussed what is the flux through it. But maximum flux when it is possible in the sense, so the case is like this. If this is the sphere and if the ring is entered like this, so this is possible when maximum chord is present. Maximum chord of the ring is present inside the sphere. So this is a sphere and this is a ring and this is a charged ring. Exactly we know whose radius of the sphere is radius r by 2. And here from center to this one is radius r. Then what is the angle made by it? So if you taken this, what is the angle made by it in the sense? This angle we can write as a theta equal to, when it is exactly this ring entered at center, exactly it cuts at the center of the ring, then it is having maximum chord present inside the sphere. So that time it will have maximum chord. So more than it is not possible. Maximum chord is possible when this ring is exactly above the, it cuts the sphere exactly above the center. then you may find this angle is how much, then theta opposite side r by 2 and hypotenuse is r. Then cos angle if you taken cos theta equal to sin theta, you take it here. So sin theta opposite side r by 2 by hypotenuse is r, then it is sin theta equal to 1 by 2, then theta equal to 30 degrees. So theta is 30 degrees in the sense, and totally how much this part makes an angle, this part makes an angle, similarly another angle theta. Then totally this arc length we can find by taking the angle 2 theta is equals to arc length by radius r. Therefore we can write angle 2 theta, that is 2 theta means 2 into 30, 60 degrees. How much that is? Pi by 3. Then arc length equal to, so we have the formula that angle pi by 3 arc length by radius is r. We need arc length, that we can have arc length is equals to r into pi by 3. Therefore this is the arc length we know. Then how much of charge is present? This charge we can find by multiplying linear charge density lambda into this length, arc length. Therefore charge present in it is, we can write as a charge enclosed q net equal to, we can write like this. Therefore q net net charge enclosed is nothing but linear charge density into arc length. That arc length is r into pi by 3. Therefore flux, so this is maximum flux, so that's why I am writing maximum flux through the sphere is, we can write as a phi max equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge, that is lambda into r pi by 3. So we can rewrite that lambda r into pi by 3 epsilon naught. So this is what the maximum flux through it. So the both cases we discussed, when it is an eddy at any instant, how can you find, as well as when you maximum flux means, so exactly when it is possible means when the ring is entered at an instant that it is exactly it cuts the sphere above the center. So this is the maximum chord. So this maximum chord means angle made is pi by 3. Then angle if you know, then you can able to know the arc length. From that we can able to find the maximum flux. Okay, so this is the thing. If a point charge is located exactly at center, so flux through the entire sphere, what is going to be taken? Flux through the entire sphere. Inside the sphere, if a q charge is present, so what is the flux through the complete sphere means, you are writing that according to Gauss law, flux is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. But if they ask flux through any part of the sphere, so that is the concept here, you need to understand flux through any part of the sphere, just a small part of the sphere if it is there. So we can find it out that like this. Let us take BC. We have a sphere like this. So if we have a sphere like this, a radius is r and a charge q is present inside it, then flux through it is what you can write. Flux through the sphere phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge you are writing. So because this is flux through what? Through complete sphere. through complete sphere, you are writing as 1 by q times the epsilon naught. Q 1 by epsilon naught times the q. But if the questions are like this, if charge is present, but I wanted the flux through a small part here like this. So I want the flux through, means radially, flux through this small area of this sphere. So flux through a small area of the sphere if you want it, not through complete sphere. Then in such kind of cases, we can able to find the flux through it by going through the concept of solid angle. So we discussed that one. Based on that solid angle concept, you may understand that. So through any part of the sphere, if it is makes it in solid angle, so how much of flux passing through it? Otherwise, flux passing through it, if you know, you can able to find the charge also in such cases. Then we will go to that concept, and it is very important one also. Solid angle. So I will discuss it. What is a solid angle? Then we will go for the things. Well, let us suppose solid angle. Earlier we have a concept of linear angle. You studied well with that. If two lines like that is there, so the angle between the two lines like that is there. This is an angle between two lines, is nothing but angle theta, or two planes. Otherwise, if you take a ring, and if you part of a ring, if you taken this circular ring, so one sector you cut it, and this is what we can call sector, and whose radius is this is angle and this is arc length. So this is arc length. This is, let us suppose, if it is an x, what you can write, angle theta is equals to, so theta is equals to, angle is equals to arc length by radius. So angle is equals to arc length, okay. So arc length x by radius is r. So this is what we are calling linear angle between two lines. So it is a linear angle. So linear angle in the sense it is also dimensionless, because length, this is length, ratio of singular quantity is dimensionless. In the same way, so here if it is n means, this is what we can call it as a linear angle. But if you take an ice cream cone, so ice cream cone, if you observe it, how it is there, like this you can observe, this is the ice cream cone. It has a lateral surface like this here. So this lateral surface is present. This is an ice cream cone. This lateral surface area, if it is area is ds, and whose radius is r. So this lateral surface, how much of angle is made at its vertex? The angle made by the lateral surface at its vertex is called as the solid angle. It can be represented with omega. So solid angle omega, how can we write it? This is the solid angle omega, that is nothing but the angle made by the the angle made by the lateral surface of the cone. So this solid angle, how you wrote the linear angle as length by radius. Here solid angle on it is a dimensionless, means the ratio will be so here length by length, so dimensionless it will be. Same way here how can you write? The thing is solid angle we can write as solid angle omega is equals to surface area, the surface lateral surface area ds by radius square. So you can understand this is also be dimensionless, and dimensionless is there. Even dimensionless it has a units. Linear angle means radians, we have units is radians. So similarly the solid angle means it has units called steradians. So it is steradians. So solid angle is nothing but the angle made by the lateral surface of a cone at its vertex. So that is nothing but the surface area, lateral surface area by radius square. This is what solid angle, and its units are steradians, and it is a dimensionless quantity. Now we need to be discussed that this can be directly we can write when the axis exactly passing the surface area ds is area vector is along the axis of the cone. If area vector is along the axis of the cone, you are writing as solid angle as ds by r square. If the case is like this, suppose if the area vector is not along the axis of the cone, the case is like this. So this is the axis, but the area vector is like this. So the area vector is makes an angle, that is ds is makes an angle theta, and whose radius is r. So like this is there, we can take the solid angle as, we need to be resolved it, we know well. So any angle it is there because it is a vector, the vector it makes an angle theta. So the resolving the component which is along the axis we need to be taken. The component which is along the axis is nothing but what, that is ds cos theta. So we have in this direction ds cos theta. So you understand that the area, if it is not along the axis of the cone, so we need to be take the component of area vector which is along the axis. Then the solid angle is solid angle omega is equals to ds cos theta by r square. This is the thing you have to understand. So now the next important one is, if a disc is there, suppose a circular disc you taken, that circular disc how much of solid angle made at a certain distance from its center. So based on that, one sphere how much of solid angle it can make, a part of the sphere how much of solid angle it can make. So you can understand well. So first we need to take the concept of what is the solid angle made by a disc at a distance, some distance x or y we take it, or a some distance from its center we will be discussing. The next concept.